Well, good morning, everyone. And how you doing out there today? Welcome to the Slim Nation. You want to know where the Slim Nation is? It's wherever you are. And we're here again this morning just to chat a little bit. Like I said, next week, starting Tuesday, we will have guests and have some intriguing conversations with our guests on the Slim Nation's One-on-Ones podcast. But we like to come to you and share a little bit of information of what we're doing and what we'll be doing in the future. Hopefully, StreamYard will be working better than it is now. We won't have the dragging, but we're working on that to get it better. And if we have a problem, we'll just go to our old reliable Zoom. We just haven't been able to upload the music like we're hearing now. And some of the extra things we have with the traffic. Won't be using that a lot, but it'll come in handy sometimes. So anyway, we're glad to have you here, and just not going to be here long, but just want to keep coming on every day and reminding you of two things with the Slim Nation podcast coming up. And also Portsmouth Coffee Talk coming back after our little break, summer break, short summer break. We will be back either mid-July or at the end of July and come back after we have had our break. Some of our members have gone on vacation, and so, it's appropriate for us to take a little time. We've been doing it every week for the past 3 years and not missing many of those 2 days that we have our show on Monday mornings and Thursday evenings. And so it was time for a break. But in the meantime, we're launching, we've been having one-on-one discussions with guests on the Slim Nation, but we're going to keep the Slim Nation channel on YouTube for a lot of other things we'll be doing with Slim Nation, but the Slim Nation one-on-one podcast will be dedicated to the one-on-one conversations we will have in the future. And hopefully we won't have to do that to people, guests that come on. We're going to be more polite than that. But if they get a little out of hand, we might have to throw a little slap on them. Or if they are great, we give them credit there too, or give them their applause. But anyway, we want to make sure that you all keep up what we're doing, and that's why we've been coming on just about every day, showing or talking to you about what's coming up with the Slim Nation one-on-one podcast, as well as Portsmouth Coffee Talks morning and evening edition shows. So if you're missing our shows of Coffee Talk, don't worry, we're coming back. We made the announcement we were taking a break, and some of you might not have seen it, but we're reminding you every day that we're taking that little break and we're coming back better. So just hang in there as far as the Portsmouth Coffee Talk is concerned, and continue to watch the Slim Nation one-on-one podcast. Whatever we do, we're continuously trying to improve here on the Slim Nation, as well as the Portsmouth Coffee Talk morning and evening edition shows that I do with very capable co-hosts Leah Drake Stitt and Thomas the Colonel Chapman. I think we work together real well. Each one of us has a little something different that we bring to the broadcast, and that's good. That's the way it should be. Everybody has a little something different that they bring. So just continue to watch us and support us as we come back mid mid July or the end of July. And in the meantime, you can go to our YouTube channel and watch some of our previous shows. A lot of them are still relevant today. Some of the subjects we dealt with is something that is, like I said, is relevant for today, and it's something that you might benefit from watching, especially with some of the special guests that we've had on. And I hope I'm not. Um, it looks like I'm dragging. I'm looking at the live here, and looks like I'm dragging, and that has been one of the things that were made me leery of the StreamYard, and I don't think it's their fault. It might be on my end with the Wi-Fi connection I have. Put in Wi-Fi, and it's working on all the other platforms well. What seems like, and it's probably my laptop here. Probably need to update my laptop. Had it for a while, and so might not just be getting the signal I should be getting from YardStream. But I really want to use YardStream because, like I said on the other videos, because of what it offers to do live and as far as recording. But we're going to do our best to come to you one way or another, either StreamYard, I say YardStream, or either StreamYard or our old faithful Zoom. And Zoom hadn't failed us yet, but it's just a few more things, like I said, that we can do doing a broadcast with YardStream. So we're going to see how that works. But anyway, thanks for watching. Before we go, let me talk a little bit about something that a lot of you might be familiar with, and it's not, and I always like to, I don't like using the term getting old. I like to use the term getting older because we all get older, and older doesn't necessarily define that you're really up there in age. Children get older. Uh, People in the mid range of life get older. So we all getting older. And it just sounds a little better to me personally than getting old, although that's what that's what happens. And you get old, and it's a blessing. They always say it's a blessing to get old, to be here and still be here, and it is. But there's some things you just have to be ready for, and some people are not ready. Uh, but we should be because we either watched our parents or our uncles or friends that were older than us go through some things, and I guess we paid attention, but we didn't think we would be dealing with it, at least not as soon as, is it happening now. We thought it would happen much later, but you could get those symptoms of getting older starting in your 40s. It all depends on how physically fit you are or how physically conscious are of your diet. And some of us have some of those predisposed illnesses through heredity or something like that that we can't avoid, and we just have to deal with that. Sometimes that affects us physically, and not necessarily you have to be older to deal with that. But it's something that we all have to go through. We all face getting older, and I guess we should all wish for that fact to get older and live a full life. Some people say you see some people in their 90s, and I saw where Coach R. Savage just turned 98, and I had to look at that again because I remember we had him on Portsmouth Coffee Talk, and um, he was 96, I believe. So I guess it has been 2 years since that, and 98, and it's a picture of him standing outside of his house, greeting people that wanted to come by and wish him a happy birthday. Not sitting, not laying down, but standing out in front of his house at 98. And that's a classic example of probably the way you take care of yourself. And I guess Coach Savage has done that over the years. And sometimes it has to do with your genes too, uh, your family history. Some people have a family history of a lot of people in their family that tend to live longer than others, and it sort of passes down to the generations. And you have a whole family of people who just live longer than others. And Coach Savage was one of those. And we have plenty of people out there like Coach Savage in their 90s right here in the city. And I always tell people, if you know people that are in their 80s and 90s, whenever you get a chance, just sit down and talk to them. Especially if you want to know what it was like. We read about things that happened back during the Jim Crow era, and when everything was segregated, and we read about it. And people that are in my age, we kind of touched on it, you know, when we were growing up as little children, because certain things we couldn't do, but we didn't live it like, but it was a lot of things we could do. But we didn't live it like somebody that might be 90 or in their 80s that really was in the thick of it when people were just treated a certain way because of the color of their skin. And we're still going through that now because and it's the craziest thing. Nobody understands why just the simple color of your skin, the pigment of your skin makes a difference in who you are as a human being. It doesn't make sense. It never has. It didn't make sense during slavery, uh, but that was something that they had to justify in order to treat fellow human beings as animals. They had to really feel in their mind that these people were a lesser race than they were in order to justify working them like they did. And, so their conscience during that time could be free, although some of them didn't have any conscience back there. They just wanted that free labor. But getting back to getting old, you start feeling those aches and pains, and after a while, you get used to them. Well, you never get used to them, but you know they're there, and you deal with it. You cope with it, and the main thing is keep moving, keep busy, keep as busy as you can, and that probably is a formula for having a long, productive life. You don't want to live forever. I mean, you don't want to be 200 years old. I can't even imagine that, not unless you're just a miracle person that you're 200 years old and still be able to function. But I can imagine if you made it to 200 years old, what kind of condition you would be in. But anyway, it's nothing wrong with getting older. We all get there. And no matter how young you are now and how far it looks in the future for you, you will get there too. So that's why sometimes the arguments, not arguments, but the discussions with some of the young people, and I probably felt that way when I was younger. It seemed so far away, getting to a certain age. We felt like in your 20s or maybe 30s, or well, it starts in the teens, that you feel anybody that's 20 or 30 years older than you have already served their worth. I mean, actually, that's if you hear people talk, that's what they're actually saying. And if you break it down to them and let them know that's what they're saying, they'll probably think twice about saying the things they say about older people. It's just a natural thing that they think because they're young and older. Older human beings can't do some of the things that they do, but in a lot of cases, your mind is still sharp, and you still have worth. In society, you still can contribute to society as long as you're in the right frame of mind and reasonable health. It's you're going to get older and your health is going to decline. But if you take care of yourself in your younger years, then you will have a better life in your older years when you're older. But young people don't put older people down because one day you're going to be there and you're going to have that same have to deal with that same thing from people that are younger than you. So the more you prepare the younger people now to, get back to respecting their elders, all just about all cultures have a certain amount of respect, and some cultures have the ultimate respect for their elders. You know, and seems like we have kind of gotten away from that. Well, I say we got away from it, but it's always kind of been that way. Mostly, we have always respected our elders, but not to the degree that some other cultures, like Asians, do, um, and some Italians, and that respect their elders and make sure that they treat them with respect and treat them well and let them know that they're still worthy. They still can contribute to society. Sometimes we write off our older uh, citizens or family members as they've used up the time here, and they need to just sit down and in a rocker and just rock the rest of their life away, which is not the case. Things are different now. Healthcare is better. People are living longer. People are contributing longer. And I granted some people probably get to the point where they need to step away from some positions, but they don't need to step away all the way and sit down and not contribute. You can always contribute in some kind of way, or if you have that respect from the people that are younger than you and feel that they can do without you. I would challenge any young generations to try to deal without their elders. You if you think that you can do it on your own, just try to deal without them because the advice sometimes that come from the elders who have often been in situations that you haven't been in yet can save you a lot of heartache and pain. Some people have to go through it in order to really learn the lessons that they need to learn. But if you can sit down and talk to someone who has been there, you can always approach certain things a lot different, even though you might have to experience it. But at least you'll be prepared for what you're about to face. If you've already know what the consequences may be or what to expect. And you get that from older people, your elders. So challenge everybody to sit down every once in a while. If you don't have elders in your family, or in the neighborhood, just go to some of these facilities and just sit down and talk to them. You will be surprised, and it would help them as elders to be able to talk about their life experiences. Being able to pass down some of the things that they have seen over a span of 80 or 90 years. Even in the 70s, people that are in their 70s, I'll be there soon in another 2 years. In our 60s, we have a lot of experience, life experiences that we have gone through. So even we have a little bit of wisdom and experience to share. So don't write us off because I see that sometimes with the younger people. And like I said earlier, I was there at a teenage age thinking that at a certain point, you know, we knew it all. We've learned enough. We've seen enough in our young 16 or 17 years of life, which is just a drop in the bucket as far as the things, the journey you have yet to travel. So make sure you respect and honor our elders and don't ever write them off as being unnecessary or past their time, and they need to go somewhere and sit down, because where would the world be if you still didn't have some of those elders around can still contributing to society and helping out. To touch on that, I started out talking about some of the ailments you might have. It's like I frozen there. I hope I will come back. Um, but anyway, I guess that's my signal to sort of hope you can still hear me, but uh, looks like I have frozen about this yard stream. But anyway, looks like I'm way behind. Anyway, thanks everybody for listening. And we'll close it out.